Hi there, it's Claudia from We're Just Two Sisters, and I am just thrilled to share this latest journal with you. It's turned out to be one of my very favorites. I call it French Country, and everything about it is very dainty, very feminine, and I would say very French. It's, as you can see, it's just filled with lovely papers and ephemera, cards, tags, pockets, inserts, and I just can't wait to open it up and show it to you. But first I'm going to show you how big it is. It measures right at 8 inches by 5 inches, and it has a right at 2-inch spine. So it's very, very, very filled, and also has just a lot of room for you to continue to add to it. And so without further ado, I'd like to open it up and show you what's inside. This is held together with just a really pretty silk ribbon that just simply unties and opens this up for you to enjoy. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I just, again, thought that this picture on the front was just so reminiscent of someone who is longing for a friend or a time in their life and just remembering. And that's what journals are all about, for documenting those special memories that we have. It is bound with an old book, old vintage lace, some vintage muslin, and on the back it also has continuation of that vintage cloth. And you can see that this was a cloth bound book, and I like to use everything vintage. I don't really use a lot of digital printouts. Everything that you'll find in my books are either handmade or they are art paper. So the inside cover of this one has a really pretty doily. And each pocket is filled with quite a few cards and tags and so forth. This one has 3 little tags finished on the back with some stamping. But I have purposely left these relatively plain so that you, as the new owner, can continue to embellish it in a way that you would like to. This is a really pretty page. And it has a tri-pocket. Each pocket has little goodies. Here's a little tag. This also has a card. It also has a wonderful little tablet here that I made. You open it up like this, and inside it has a tablet of vintage paper, and it's sewn on the top. One of my favorite little things to make there. And it just simply slides right back down into that pocket. You'll see that a lot of the paper in my journals is either tea dyed, coffee dyed, or echo dyed. And I do all that work myself with either lace, stencils, or leaves, all kinds of different things. This is a really fun band that contains a nice little tablet with a little butterfly on it. Vintage papers, lots of writing space in this journal. You will not run out of places to write. The tablet simply slips back into the band, and you can have it stick out the edge a little bit, and that creates a little bit of a tab, or it can go all the way in. Next page is a fun little envelope that's held together with a little clip here. When you open the envelope, which is attached, by the way, the envelope has a place to just hide little treasure. I put a little card in there that can easily be finished. This just simply closes, and I like to put this little clip on the edge, keeping the flap closed. Plus, it has a fun little tassel that hangs off the edge. This is an example of echo dyed paper that I do myself with leaves and petals from roses, and they just come out so pretty. Here's a page that was done using ferns. And as I said, there's a lot of blank space. There's a lot of great art paper that you can embellish and decorate yourself. I've also included quite a bit of very French and Victorian paper here. And just to mute that a little bit, I've added some netting here that just gives that a really pretty patina. More stencil paper, some really fun stationery. that, again, lots of places to write. Pages that have some type or book pages. And again, all the pages in my journals are torn from vintage books or magazines or advertisements. This has a fun little edge to it. And this actually tells a really cool story of a man who was writing letters to his daughters. More eco-dyed paper, stenciled paper, art paper. Again, tons and tons of room for you to continue to embellish this journal or write in it. This is a fun little corner pocket that is sewn on. It contains a card as well as a fun little bookmark. It also has this fun card and a larger postcard size card. I really love this picture. And again, these just slip down into the pocket. And you can see that this has a very short edge on it, so it doesn't go all the way down. But you can move all this stuff around and basically put it wherever you'd like to in the journal. It doesn't have to remain in the same places where I've chosen to put things. Again, more art paper, really pretty designs on these. This is one of my favorite pages. This is the center of this particular signature. It has a really lovely poem. It has a little tablet here that you can write on with ideas. And I've included with this journal a little handmade bookmark that I love to make. These are made out of old fan blades, little fans that, you know, our grandmothers used to use. My grandma had one in church, and she loved to fan herself. So I've taken these apart and made these little bookmarks. But I really love that page. Again, more pretty paper. This is a very vintage inside cover of an old book that I have just sewn together and attached a pretty little piece of material on the side that creates a tab here. Also has a fun little tassel. This one does not have a pocket. It's just for decoration. More pages, lots of blank pages. Another fun pocket about daffodils. This little guy comes out and opens up, making a fun little place to store memorabilia and so forth. And slips right back down into that pocket. Fun little, your booklet, fun little thing I cut out of an old magazine. I've also included a few vintage photographs. Here's another envelope. The envelope contains a couple of little things. You can see the envelope will close. Inside the envelope, I've put a little postcard. And I've also included another little card. It has some vintage stamping on the back. And those can just slip back down in that envelope. I like this. It's kind of like a day at the beach. Very vintage beach imagery. Again, lots of paper to write on or continue to embellish. This is another trifold pocket. It has a couple of tags, a tag here, and this little tag here. And those just slip down into the pockets. Has a little bird sitting on her bird nest. I love this owl. He's just kind of peeking out over the edge there. And I love this yarn. It just makes a really pretty addition. And of course, you're always going to find little bits of paper in these. But I try to make sure that they're all gone. This journal actually took me about 2.5 months to complete. So there's a lot of work in it, and a lot of my own creativity, I think, went into this. Here's a really pretty page that has a glued on card. I love this old vintage glove and shoe with the butterflies, and I made a little pathway here, or a little flight pattern of the butterfly, which I thought was pretty. Somewhat modern. I thought this was very French looking for some reason. Here's another little pocket that I've created and glued on. It has a bookmark, as well as this fun little tag that's fairly plain that you can just do with whatever you choose to do with. And again, here's some fun whimsical yarn that can just stick out of the edge. quite a bit of very thin paper. Here's another little pocket with 3 unembellished tags that you can make your own and do your own creativity with them. Fun craft paper, more lace dyed paper. I think this is so pretty when it's done with vintage lace. And here's another blank page, which I've just added a small little vintage embellishment there. Old books. These are all very Victorian. Again, another example of echo dyed paper, stencil dyed paper, more art crafty paper. Some of these craft pages just have small little embellishments on them. This is a fun page. It's a little piece of cloth sewn on that says apron pockets. And I believe that this was from a very old pattern. This is a fun little card with just a little fairy on it. This also has a really cute little tablet all sewn together. You know, very nice linen paper. This can just stick right back down into that little pocket. And I like that you can see through this. And I've stamped a little bird on there as well. More pages. And this is a really pretty page with a little pocket of lace. And I've included this extremely vintage silk hanky. This little pocket contains right now a couple of little cards. There's this one here with just some stamping, and another one with an old book page on the back that talks about different wines. And those can just slide right down in that pocket. Here's an envelope that opens. The envelope, you'll find all kinds of little hidden compartments where there's things inside. This one has a card, another little card. It also has a postcard that I think is really pretty. Blank on the back. And again, I've left quite a few things not completely finished because I'm finding that people really enjoy finishing them on their own, using some of the techniques that they've learned or some of the videos that they've watched to, you know, create their own masterpiece. This also has an adjacent corner pocket that has this lovely little bookmark. And it also has this little trifold. I'll show you that real quick. This little trifold opens up like this. And it has all kinds of room to write on. But even when it's closed, it's very, very pretty and dainty. These corner pockets are great because things like this that have embellishments on it, you can just stick them right down here in the corner and they stay in really well, but they don't interfere with the embellishment. More dyed paper, art paper. I love this page. Let me close that. I love this page right here. It basically is a very French-looking woman, and it says, "Wear audacious underwear under the most solemn of business attire." And I just think that's really great advice. This is a pretty little pocket that actually has some netting sewn over the top of it. It's chock full of little things here. There's a tag. I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeking in at morn. And just some fun little sayings. Be brave, even if you're not, pretend to be. No one can tell the difference. Little card. And also a fun postcard with some music on the back. Has a little dangle on it, as well as a little lock and key. And this pocket actually holds quite a bit of stuff, as you can see. And again, no reason to keep this stuff in the same order or in the same place. You can feel free to move it around and make your own. This has a snippet of ribbon sewn onto the edge that has all kinds of fun little doodads there. More blank pages, another corner pocket. This corner pocket has a card, a really pretty little index card with some great little punches on the corners. Again, an opportunity to just make that into your own. A fun little Make-A-Wish flower card. And again, you can just stick those in that side pocket. This has a great border of really pretty stamped muslin material. And I actually found this little sunflower that looked really nice on that page. Sorry that this is such a long video, but there's a lot of stuff in this little journal. So here's a garter, Paris garter little pocket. Has a bookmark in it. The bookmark is finished on both sides. And not only can it slip down all the way in, but it's fun when little embellishments like that actually show over the top of the journal. This is one of my whimsical houses that I love to make, and this one just looked like a little French country house, so I really wanted to include that. I also sell these these whimsical houses on our Etsy store as well, and they're lots of fun. Here's a side pocket that I think is super pretty, and it also has a pull-out. The pull-out is yet another little tablet, a great place for you to record your thoughts and ideas and notes to younger self. I always like to do. I love this page. It's a dandelion image that's dyed with coffee. Again, more blank pages, a lot of blank pages. I've had several people say, please, please, lots of blank pages. I thought this picture was really beautiful from an old magazine or an old book. This is another really pretty, very dainty and feminine pocket that's sewn on, has the pearls and the butterflies, and this contains a little card, actually 2 little cards, again, that can be embellished. You can go ahead and make those your own. And also this really pretty card basically says, I love everything that's old. Old friends, old times, old manners, old books, and old wine. Actually, I love them all together at the same time. Stick those right back in there. You can just go in there any way you like. Moving on, still some more pages. Another pocket that has yet another tablet. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. And I love this little tablet. It has a very eclectic group of a lot of my own, actually all of my own coffee dyed papers. This little tablet can just slip right back in there. I'm so awkward with my hands holding that. This one just slips right back down in there like that. And then the very last page also has the other side of that really pretty doily, some really pretty butterfly paper, and then the back of the journal, as I showed you, looks like this. Here's the spine one more time. As you can see, it's very large, very full, and has a lot of love to give. So I'm hoping that you really enjoyed it. I'm hoping that you will share this with others. This journal is available on our Etsy store, which is www.we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com, and that's We're Just Two Sisters with the number 2. Thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day.